You know, when I said let's do 3 in a row yesterday, I meant 3 days in a row of videos, not 3 videos in one day. All right, guys, welcome back. This is our second video of the day, and that's it. But you are getting a stream at 7, and if you love this beautiful beard, you can go to Fat Samurai Guy's channel at 9 o'clock, and you get me all day. You got me this morning with a video, you got me this afternoon with a video, early evening with a stream, late evening with a stream. There's a lot of Rob going around, and it's not just the girth. All right, but this video, we're going to talk about the case for a new monster in the upcoming Godzilla vs. Kong sequel. So we discussed the case for Destroyer. We discussed the case for Biollante. Now we discuss the case for a new monster. And quite frankly, I really don't know where else to go with this. So thanks for watching. You know, don't maybe be a new no, I'm kidding. I'm in a very good mood because it's the day before Friday, and you guys know how I love me some weekends. But yeah, you know, this is something a lot of people are actually clamoring for, is a new monster in the upcoming sequel. And as I said, me personally, I don't care one way or the other. It doesn't matter if it's Destroyer, it doesn't matter if it's Biollante, it doesn't matter if it's a new monster. But also something I want to add into this video, I was going to do a separate video about this, but I figured I'll squeeze it into here because there's not much we can discuss in terms of a new monster, because when you look at the synopsis, you could easily make an argument that they're referring to a new monster, but we just don't have any evidence of what remotely that new monster could be. You know, we do know it'll be on the Hollow Earth. We do know that it could potentially be an amped up Warbat, you know, but I have a feeling that may not be the case. So yeah, and again, I don't think a lot of us are against that. A lot of people have been wanting to kind of see a new, not because we don't love and enjoy what what Legendary has done with their interpretations of Toho monsters, but you know, we appreciate some of the creations that Legendary have made, and we think that they should deserve, that we think they deserve and should give themselves a little pat on the back, a little bit of love, and feature one of their own creations as the primary villains. So, and I don't think a lot of us are against that. You know, I know there's some hardcore Toho guys out there that want Destroyer or want Biollante, but from what I've gathered from the streams over the last couple of months, and from what I've gathered in the comment section of the last few videos from these last couple of days, I think a lot of people are ready to see what Legendary is capable of by putting one of their creations front and center for a long period of time, not just a couple of cameos in the movie. So I'm definitely looking forward to that if that's the case. But I think there are some potential wild cards out there, and I also think there are some potential monsters that some people are holding out hopes for that don't have a chance in the world. So I'll hate to be a dream breaker at that point, but we'll get to that in a minute. So in terms of the wild cards, I do think there's still, and this one's slim, but I don't want to 100% rule out a Mecha King Ghidorah. I don't. I still think there's a possibility there. One of the reasons is because this is a monster they still probably have a license for. Number 2, Ghidorah still remains one of the more popular Godzilla villains. And number 3, there are elements in the lore and the story that have been established that leave the door wide open for a Mecha King Ghidorah. So I want to give like an honorable mention to Mecha King Ghidorah for that reason alone. However, given again with the synopsis that we have been given, it sounds pretty unlikely that that'll be the case, simply because once again the synopsis states that this threat is coming from within the earth. But again, I just wanted to at least mention him as a potential, but I do think it's very slim. In terms of some of the other monsters that people have been hoping for, this is where I become the dream breaker. I'm sorry. I gotta be honest. You know, I know there's a lot of people in the community that love me for my honesty, but there's just as many people who hate me for it. So let's address Space Godzilla.
Oh yeah, the bitch.
No, we're not getting a Space Godzilla. I don't think that's gonna happen. First of all, I know a lot of people thought about this when they saw that image. In fact, I should have had the book ready. But if you have the art book for the Godzilla vs. Kong movie, there is a section of the book that talks about some of the ancient history and stuff like that. And there is a picture of what looks to be a flying monster that looks very similar to Godzilla, but with wings. And a lot of people misinterpreted that as Space Godzilla, where I think it's just perhaps it could just be something that was, drawn and potentially used, that was, because that's what the art book is. The art book essentially is a lot of concept art that had the potential to make into the movie but didn't. I don't think that'll be the monster, and if it is, it won't be Space Godzilla. It'll be, again, something completely new. But Space Godzilla just doesn't really make any. First of all, it would be a very, very unoriginal villain to go with. While I love Toho, I've never been a fan of Space Godzilla. I've always thought it was just a lazy narrative. And I don't think that would portray well in the MonsterVerse as well. I just would not hold out hope for that. I would not hold my breath that it's Space Godzilla. Just don't even bother. Gigan, again, I would love to see Gigan in the MonsterVerse. Let's be real. And I think Gigan would be a great addition if you decided to go with the space narrative. And there's nothing saying that they won't. I mean, we don't know if this is the last movie. We do know there was a teaser, or not a teaser necessarily, but a little Easter egg at the end of Godzilla vs. Kong where Brian Tyree Henry's character asked Kyle Chandler's character about, talking to him about Area 51. We do know Ghidorah was a space monster. We do know that the technology looks insanely advanced from movie to movie. And there was a little story element I did come up with once again on the stream. I really got to get these streams together, because there's a lot of good content there that a lot of you non-stream watchers that have stuck around for the videos are really missing, that I want to cut out and make for you, but I really got to do some hunting. So I might just do it as a video again. But anyway, to make a long story short, came up with a story where they did go with the space narrative, and I explained that that's how kind of like Apex got their technology. It was my alternate version. As if you watch my Gamera, my how I would do it video, and we are gonna do another how I would do it soon now that I'm back to doing videos. You know that I use Atlantis as an excuse as to why Apex got their technology. Well, in this one I use space. So but yeah, again, the monster is from deep within the earth. There's no reason for Gigan to be down there unless they change Gigan's origins and they make him some sort of bird-looking monster. And I mean, that's a possibility. But again, I wouldn't hold my breath. It's not to say that Gigan couldn't work or is not popular enough to be in the MonsterVerse. I just don't know if they would want to go to the extreme of changing his origin so much that you're going to take away some of the features that make him so dynamic, like the buzzsaw on his chest, or his claws for arms, or his, whatever the chainsaw that he had for hands as well. I don't know if they want to go that far to make that change to make him look more organic as opposed to biomechanical. So, and then some of the other ones that are obviously far-fetched. I know there's a lot of people hoping to see Gorosaurus make a cameo and lose to Kong in a fight. That's probably the only way I would accept Gorosaurus in the MonsterVerse, is if he got his ass kicked, because quite frankly, outside of that, he's useless. I mean, his finishing move is a standing drop kick.
What's he gonna do? This ain't bed and breakfast. There's no room service. Oh my God!
Okay, I mean, come on. A standing drop kick is this dude's move. When you got monsters shooting lightning out of their mouths and atomic breath, and you're gonna drop a monster that's doing a standing drop kick for his finishing move. I mean, you see what I'm saying here? It's okay. Not every monster has to be in a MonsterVerse. In fact, I prefer most of them are not. So that's the only way I would accept Gorosaurus showing up, is if he gets his ass handed to him. I know there are a few people I've heard talking about the Gargantuas either being in this movie and making a cameo in in like the Hollow Earth. And I know there's some Gargantua fans who want a Gargantua's movie at some point, maybe that Legendary could do as a separate entity. there's a lot of Bigfoot movies out there that you could. Okay, I'm messing with you, but in all honesty, I mean, not every monster from the Toho gallery has to be in the MonsterVerse, and I do think that some monsters fit better than others. I think that narrowing it down to the 3 that we've spoken about over the course of the last couple of videos, in terms of Destroyer, Biollante, and then a new monster. Another wild card, and this is probably the only wild card, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see this monster not necessarily as the primary villain, but as a cameo villain, is the Griffin. And the reason for this is because I gotta pull his name up because I forgot it as I speak. I have it written down. I have it written down incorrectly though. I didn't get the first name right. I got the last name I got, but I found out that I had written down the first name incorrectly and I forgot what the correct name was. But I'm just gonna say his last name, Rosio, which is the creator of the Griffin for the original 94 Godzilla, which eventually led to the 98 Godzilla film. So he is still very much involved in the MonsterVerse projects. And from what I've been told, some of how the story that we've gotten, the very little bit that we've gotten so far in regards to the story, I'm hearing is very similar to what he developed for the 94 movie that eventually became the 98 movie. So I would say a very distant but a good wild card would be seeing the Griffin. Now, I don't think the Griffin would be the main villain, but it would be cool if he found a way to incorporate his creation into the movie as like a one-off. Maybe a major fight for Kong before the big fight against Biggie, or maybe he does make some changes to his Griffin character and it turns out that it's the big bad. But again, I'll put that one in the wild card category. But there's that's what makes this next movie so far so exciting, is because the reason it's not as obvious this time, or the reason it's not as the reason it's more exciting is because we have not gotten any indication yet as to what they're going to be facing. Now, you see, remember, we knew after Godzilla 2014 that Rodan, Ghidorah, and Mothra were on the way. So while it was very exciting to see them, when you see the potential endgame of what's to come, it takes away the element of surprise. And then, of course, when Godzilla King of the Monsters started coming out and revealing trailers and stuff, obviously they went way too far, showing way too much over the course of a year, and that really took a lot of gas out of their first initial trailer. After that first initial trailer, they shouldn't have shown anything for like the next 8 months. But of course, us fans, if they didn't, we'd be bitching and moaning, right? That's how it always works. When we got the end credit scene for Kong Skull Island, same thing. We got a taste of things to come. This is the first time we really hadn't gotten anything. When you look at the ending of Godzilla King of the Monsters, we had a whole montage, and Michael Dougherty did such a wonderful job of spoiling us with all those great Easter eggs. But we knew what was coming. We knew that Godzilla versus Kong was coming. We also knew that Godzilla and Kong were going to face another monster. Everybody knew that early on, because you can't give a complete loss to one side or the other. You gotta kind of please both fans. And then we eventually found out that it was a lot of people knew it was Mechagodzilla before me, simply because I was in denial. I just really didn't think they would go there. Of course, I also didn't read many of the leaks, and whatever leaks I did read, I never really believe leaks. Even if they come true down the road, then that's one thing. But for the most part, I always take leaks with a grain of salt. I don't really, I never really invest true full belief into a leak, because I gotta wait till the movie comes out. But this time we have no idea, and this is one of the reasons why this time around I am gonna stay away from leaks, and I am gonna stay away from toy reveals, because this is probably the most exciting element of what's coming for this movie, is what this villain's gonna be. Because for the first time in the last several MonsterVerse movies, we don't have a clue. We don't have an end credit. We don't have an indication. Even if you look at the ending of Godzilla King versus Kong, for a while we all thought it was over. I remember for like a good 8 months, there was the tweets going out thanking all the directors, and it was a big montage. And for a while there, it felt like the end. It was like, I was like, wow, I think this is it. So now we're getting the sequel. We got the news about the sequel out of nowhere. It's not like they hyped it up. We found out about it before Legendary even officially announced it. So there is a lot of question marks going into this movie, and the villain is the biggest one. And this is the first time we have really not known or have at least an indication of what the villain could be. We have minor we have speculations and theories that we've spoken about over the course of the last couple of days. But when you really think about it, that's for me what makes this movie, upcoming movie, exciting, is that we don't really know. We don't know what the monster is going to be. So but yeah, that's pretty much it. Well, look, we're going to be doing a lot more Godzilla videos coming our way. I wanted to kick off doing videos again on my channel with these 3 particular videos because I think that is a good way to kind of start things off, and then from there just go on with regular speculations. I do have some videos probably start doing next week regarding potential movies after this one. Really early speculation, how this movie might end, how Destroy All Monsters might come around, depending, and share some of the things that I've spoken about on stream that a lot of you guys have missed, that don't come to the streams and are pretty much here for the videos. But yeah, that's it for this one. So yeah, I mean, new monster, there's not really much to delve into that, but I wanted to kind of cover all the other things outside of the major 2 that we think we might be getting, as well as the pure excitement for this movie in terms of the villain, because like I said, for the first time in the several MonsterVerse movies, we don't have any indication of where this villain is going to come from, what it's about. This is the first time, and that's what makes it exciting. So, but anyway, guys, that's it for this video. I know it was a long one, but there was a lot to get in there because I didn't want to do another video or 2 just on one particular theory. I wanted to kind of talk about everything in one in this one. So, but hopefully I'll see you guys at 7 o'clock tonight for the we're going to be doing the SCP Secret Files gameplay for about an hour and a half. Then we're going to break away. I have to take a half-hour break for myself, and then I'll be on Fat Samurai Guy stream for the rest of the night. So I hope to see you guys on both streams, but if not, we will be back tomorrow with another video, as well as tomorrow night, our stream here, 8 p.m. And I hope to see a lot of you guys there, and then we'll just keep it rolling from this point going forward. So anyway, you guys have a good rest of the day if I don't see you later. This is Rob signing off for E.T.N, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Take it easy.